Welcome to a pretty warm day here, even though it's February in Japan. We've even got some cherry blossoms popping already. But don't worry if you're booked to come in March or April. It's a special kind of cherry blossom that blooms early. Anyway, today's topic is the cheap budget tank bag. Now, I had a lot of trouble finding a tank bag for the Transalp. I did look at the SW-Motech one, but they don't ship to Japan, and the distributor that is in Japan is pretty hopeless. When I ordered my skid plate, they basically took my money and sent me an email saying, hey, might be here in 2 months, but we don't know. So I had a look at AliExpress, and they did have a couple. There's even a SW-Motech copy there, which I ordered, but it was not very good. It came with the wrong fittings, and even when I did manage to fit it, the click-off system was so weak you could just brush it off with your hand. So the next one I've tried is this one. It doesn't seem to have a brand, but you can't complain about the price, around 120 Australian dollars. I'll put a link in the description. Well, it certainly looks pretty high quality. This is the quick release system, and this is a lock. I probably won't ever use that. Now, this little plastic thing here is for the optional phone pocket, which I didn't bother getting, but it looks pretty good. Nice pocket here. Zips are very smooth. Got a mesh pocket here for some documents or something. Here are the mounting brackets. Instructions look a little bit useless. And you get all the tools even. Here's the rain cover and a shoulder strap. Now there are 2 sets of screws here, and I'm guessing one is for the Transalp and the other is for the Africa Twin. A completely useless lock. I've had those before, and you can break them with 2 fingers. As with most quick release bags, we're going to be using some of these screws. So basically the base plate gets locked down by using this metal flange. So let's pop out the screws. I'll make sure I'm using the correct length screws. Now these spacers don't seem correct. These are M5 and it looks like we need M4. These are supposed to sit inside the holes, but they're just a tiny bit too big. If I try and tighten these down, they're going to do some damage. So instead of spacers, I used some M4 spring washers. And I just adjusted the number of washers to get the perfect height. I also put some tank stickers on that I had from a previous bike to protect the paint. So she's all fitted, and it seems to be a pretty decent little tank bag. Certainly can't complain for the price. There's enough room there for your wallet and all the other little stuff you'd take on a trip, like your little towel and toothbrush and God knows what else. If you do need a little extra room, you've got the expansion zip here, which works pretty smoothly. Just run it around and up she pops for us, I don't know, about an extra litre. Quick release system works pretty well, even with winter gloves on. You can just pop out the lock, give it a twist, and off she comes. And putting it back, same story. There you go. And it is very solid. That's not going to be wiggling around anywhere or coming off. Without the bag on, kind of looks like you should put a pot plant on. I think these quick release tank bags are great. I mean, Japan is a pretty safe country, but still you wouldn't want to leave your valuables on your bike if you're ducking into the convenience store or something. One thing I should mention is I did have to adjust my handlebars because if you've got your handlebars swept back a bit too far, they will hit the bag. I don't know why Honda always puts the handlebars so swept back on these bikes. Anyway, I put them up, which I like a bit better anyway. It's more vertical and easier to ride when you're standing up on the pegs. Of course, I had to adjust the bark busters and the clutch and the brake, basically everything, but not a big problem. So that's one thing to keep in mind. If you do have your handlebars swept right back, you're probably going to be hitting the bag, but if you put them up a bit more vertically, no problem. You can still use your steering lock and everything. To sum up, this has to be the best value click-on tank bag you can get for the Transalp, at least what I can find. I did have a look at the Rhino Walk, which also looks pretty good, but it is a fair step up in price. If you've had any good or bad experiences with tank bags on the Transalp, please drop a comment. And if you got something out of this video, please give it a like and consider subscribing. Till next time, ride safe out there and thanks for watching.